So I've just spent 5 hours with 5 complete strangers on Zoom, helping them navigate their fat loss and muscle building journey. Now, these aren't clients of mine, these are strangers that I paid for an hour of my time to help figure out what their obstacle is, what they're struggling with, and close the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Now, most of them are in the same situation, and there's a running theme through all of these calls. I feel like most men over 30 are struggling with the same thing when it comes to burning fat and building muscle. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video and share the insights from these calls. Now, most of them are in a position where they feel like they're constantly dieting, constantly training, and they're getting nothing in return. Their body doesn't represent the amount of hard work they're putting in. And as a result, they're feeling deflated, they're confused, and they're lacking confidence in themselves. And I know what that feels like. Confidence isn't built by shouting affirmations in the mirror. It's built by saying, I'm going to do something, doing it, and seeing a result. And every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you lose confidence, you lose trust in yourself and the process. And that's where most people are. Now, the number one thing most of them are struggling with is lack of clarity on what they actually want. They start with a superficial goal of, I want to lose fat, get in shape, I want to feel healthier. And it's like, great, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the real reason they're there. It's a superficial reason. And what we want to do is move to that deep emotional reason of why this is important to them, why they want to make a change, why now is the time to make that change. Because without understanding that, you don't have any urgency. You don't have a reason that's good enough to get out of bed in the morning, to step out your comfort zone, to make the changes you need to make to become the person you want to become. So I help them get from that superficial reason to that deep emotional reason. I use the clarity formula. We usually go from something like, I want to lose fat and get in shape, to I want to be a healthier, happier version of myself, for my friends, for my family. I want to be a role model to my kids, and I want to be someone my wife still fancies. Think how powerful that is, the difference in energy between I want to lose fat and get in shape to I want to be a role model to my kids. I want to be a healthier, happier version of me so I can be there for my family. I want to be someone my wife still fancies. It has such a different energy, a different sense of urgency. So once we figured out that reason for wanting to make a change, we then figure out what they're struggling with. And most of them are struggling with the fact they have no idea what actually works when it comes to burning fat and building muscle. As a result, they try and do all of it at the same time. They try and train 5-6 times a week, do a ton of cardio, they cut out all the foods they enjoy, they try and eat clean. It becomes unsustainable, unenjoyable, and inevitably they always fall off plan because it doesn't fit into their lifestyle. It creates too many friction points. A friction point is literally where the goals you want to achieve clash with the life you want to live. And the more friction points, the more opportunity to fall off plan. Every time you fall off plan, you lose confidence and trust in yourself. It's a horrible cycle to get stuck in. And that's one of the reasons I make these calls, to help people get unstuck, to gain clarity, and then help them understand what works. And almost all of the time, actually 100% of the time, it's down to the fact they're trying to do too much. So once we scale back and show them what actually works when it comes to burning fat and building muscle, they then have an approach to nutrition and training that they can actually stick to. And then the third step is putting together a little roadmap so they can start taking steps towards the person they want to be. And this is such an important point. So many people get overwhelmed, they second guess themselves, and as a result they jump from one thing to another, program to program, diet to diet, and they're never able to stick to anything long enough to see any results. So we build them a 6-week roadmap showing them exactly what they've got to do so they can sit back, relax, enjoy the process, and start stacking up those wins, casting evidence that they can do this. And then guess what? They build consistency, they build momentum, and then they start seeing results. And when you start seeing results, motivation appears, confidence appears. And this is how powerful these calls are. And this is why I love doing them, because so many people spend years spinning their wheels and they're already doing 80% of the things right, and they just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help, and it unlocks the results they're after. So if this resonates with you, if you're interested in jumping on a call with me and navigating your fat loss and muscle building journey, then I'm going to drop a link in the description below with all the details. You can have a read through, and if this resonates with you, then I look forward to seeing you on one of these calls.